recording now.
Glenn Pollitt, welcome to a new era.
A new era. You can welcome each other's first guest?
Yeah, that's right. But Glenn Pollitt's back on the preview show. And the preview show is for a new website called RacingRant.
A lot of ranting, Mark.
Right,
to be
so
said.
we hope to bring you plenty of spills and thrills, but first up we're going to talk about Randwick tomorrow, which is...
Well, you've gone straight into compare role, like you've slotted straight in.
I've had a lot of practice with Aaron lately, so...
Okay. There it is.
Yeah, we've managed to find just enough sun and...
Back in the park.
Dry to film a show. And we're going to be discussing the program at Randwick tomorrow. Glenn's a bit spooked because he's actually had to do the film
Where's this
on
old
Thursday.
man on TV here in front of me? Oh my God, it's me.
Anyway, everyone will be very excited to see Glenn back on the airwaves because, of course, he's been absent for 2 months.
Yep.
What have you been doing with yourself?
Going mad, just betting. Betting away, listen to everybody give it to me on social media and not. Anyway, it's all the past life. It's good to forgive and forget.
Anyway, we've got a very interesting card to discuss tomorrow at Randwick because, of course, we've had this yo-yo winter where it's been wet, trying to get back to dry, wet again, trying to get back to dry, and then this week we had a replay of a fortnight back where Warwick Farm was in doubt and managed to race this time, but we got the serious rain Wednesday and followed up by showers through till this morning, Friday morning as we speak, and probably the wettest track we'll see for the winter at Randwick on tomorrow.
Well, we lost Hawkesbury yesterday.
Yeah, look,
Wyatt seems to be still on, but it does look like a wet spill tomorrow, and we're looking for wet trackers.
Rail in the true position, so it's obviously a question mark up against those on the inside. Any thoughts on a particularly wet track where perhaps the inside doesn't get disadvantaged quite as much?
I was thinking that, and I'm going there with an open mind. A little bit of Rafferty's rules tomorrow. Just jockeys with initiative, anything can happen tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. It's always exciting down the races.
Oh, and look, and I must say I got right into this program because we know what to expect really.
Yeah.
And we know what to expect. We've got a plane flying overhead, so it's welcome back to the first show.
Welcome back to the park. There it is. The Adidas jack, grey hair's got greyer. Nothing really changes.
We're missing somebody. Who are we missing?
Aaron or Dowboy?
Aaron's not here, and Dallas has gone on to bigger and greater things, hasn't he?
We're on an island by ourselves, just the two of us. There it is.
We can make it if we try.
Please don't sing, Mark.
Okay.
We're trying to keep
all right,
you.
so
right
levity aside, we kick off with an 1800 metre fillies and mares race. It's a soft start to the day.
It's a very soft start.
Now,
6 runners, 3 from Mr. Waller's stable.
Yeah, the market reads Harlem Lady $2.90. Then we've got the stablemate Firebird Flyer at $4.60. The other stablemate $4.60 Defrost My Heart. $5 Erica, 15 Birds of Tokyo, 16 Scylla, as in Scylla Black. And the pay scenario is up for grabs. Whoever wants it can have it. Defrost My Heart is an on-pacer that's coming way back in distance, and I didn't see her as obviously having the most pace in the race, but from the outside gate she may be urged forward. Harlem Lady and Firebird Flyer both turn up here as winners of their last starts, both ridden quietly on each occasion, so I imagine the intention is to try and get them back off the speed depending on what these other horses want to do. My thought is that Birds of Tokyo and Scylla, the lightly weighted horses, will entertain the thought of going forward here. And really not a race that I'm itching to bet in.
It's not a delicious race, is it? We've got the favourites form all seems to be at Rosehill.
Yeah.
Harlem Lady going from 1500 to 1800, which
fast race to a slow race.
It is an interesting race. We've got Defrost My Heart, who look, it's had 4 weeks off, coming back 600 metres, but does it win? Defrost My Heart, does it ever win?
It won 2 races back to back at Warwick Farm 12 months ago. It's been scratching around since.
To me, it left me with Firebird Flyer as my top pick in the race at this stage. It's had the 28 days offshore. It's coming back slightly in 200 metres, which is about the right range for it, and had the trial since. So one on the track, one on the heavy. When it did win, it was 10-1. There's a bit of pooey SP profile.
The last 2.
Yeah, so to me,
just being perfectly positioned,
it rubber stamped itself top pick with me at this stage. Of course, Mounting Yard Mail will be my final decision, and it'll be available to all my customers as per usual.
And I should mention there at this point, we had a bit of a dummy run of Mounting Yard Mail on Wednesday, and
Everything went out beautifully.
Oh, I tell you what, and the tips were sensational as well.
Always the way you tip to, we tipped to ourselves, programmed them. Anyway, that's typical racing. But they'll be available. I still been pretty good. 3 on top for me at this stage. To beat 2, I think's Roseville only for me, but obviously there's 6 runners here and they're particularly average conveyances and number 1/3. So a while to try for the first, but in a very, very slow start for me.
Yes, a sterile sort of race. I saw the race the same way, Glenn. So we'll move right on to
Race 2.
Race 2, which is again a staying race, but with a bit more bite to it, and
A bit more bite with slow coaches, but I know what you mean.
Well, look, I think the staying races at this time of year are the most interesting races on the day, and we saw on Wednesday where we had wild fluctuations. Major went out, came back in, Consented came in, went right back out, and we had Shelley's girl, the little doer.
The little doer.
The little doer they just kept chipping away at it, and it was the best back runner in the race.
$9 for 440 and did the job.
There it was, clinging onto the lead. So that was the staying race on Wednesday. We've got a race here over the 1.5 miles that sees More Than Fabulous, $4 in favourite. Races off a bit of a break is $6. Major on the backup from Wednesday, $7. Storm System, $7.5. Lie Direct, $7.5. Get on the Grange, $8. Thurston, $8.5. And Elusive Runner on the comeback trail after a long break, the roughie of the field at $12. It looks keen enough. I mean, Lie Direct is on the back up with the blinkers back on, and from the outside gate, it's straight to the front there, Lie Direct.
I do. Straight to the front for Lie Direct. I struggle with the distance there, and what I mean by that is I struggle with little Deanie Panya getting 2,400 more than Lie Direct, because I quite enjoy watching Deanie run. She gets them going in front.
Look, she did right at 2 starts back here when Major, the gun just.
Deanie just didn't quite get the distance. That's what I'm saying.
But I thought it was a very good run on that occasion.
Okay,
you
got a feel for this horse tomorrow. I got no feel for any horse, so I might leave this race in your capable hands and listen to you.
Well, okay, we talk about the favourite More Than Fabulous, who's won twice at 1900 at Canterbury. Sandwiched those wins with a
third Firebird Flyer.
Yeah, look, just a run, I thought, and
just a horse.
Well,
just
also, there's a strong school of thought that Storm System was put out of play last week, whereas More Than Fabulous got the goods,
got the PR.
So I was certainly entertaining Storm System out of that race.
Right.
Both of those horses on a 10-day backup.
Major on a backup being a good enough stat to just take into this race? Like anything.
I know, but his win here 2 starts back was just everything went right,
If it's a backup, it's something.
Oh, look, no doubt, it's there.
Braces, I didn't really particularly entertain. 24 days off, going from 2,200 to 2,400 metres. And Wednesday to Saturday, usually Wednesday to Saturday, you find yourself coming down 4 or 5 kilos, bang, straight, stays on the 60 kilos, and Winona's suspect at 2,400 herself.
Yes.
Am I allowed to say that?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
We'll find out. Racing New South Wales, get in touch with us and see if we
definitely get in touch with us and tell us exactly what you'd like us to say, because we won't be doing that. But I just find the girl jockeys over the longer journeys, from a punting perspective, tough business. Are we allowed to say that? All right, I retract that. I'm not saying it now.
Look, there's 2 runners I need a comment from you here. Yes. Thurston, who has been
poking around.
Well, he's
Aaron chipping at every start, driving me mad. Oh, I like Thurston.
Yeah, such high hopes. First preparation for Waller.
Yep.
He has been to the 1.5 miles before, so that's not out of play. But his last 2 starts have been less than optimal.
I agree with that. Had the trial sense. Look, it did run third over the 2,400 to Destiny's Kiss and Dream Folk, and on that run would be right in this race. Passing with me at this stage on Thurston.
And Elusive Runner, who was a Queensland Derby aspirant 2 years ago.
Yes.
Off the back of 2 pretty awesome Sydney runs at that point, and then disappeared. Here's your mate.
For the dog turn. At least someone likes us.
He's got his head to the side like Gary Clark.
He's a flea-ridden 12-year-old dog, and he's the only one that likes us. Let's not even talk about the dogs. I'll go off my head.
Yes. So stay tuned for Monday's the rant, where we could actually get wound up about the dish lickers and greyhounds.
I'm just barring greyhounds. Oh, we've got a premier who prays, who wants to buy greyhounds. We could be in plenty of trouble.
It's mad anyway. Look, from me in this race, I'm looking at Storm System, who was given no chance last week, and just idling, poking along there for gate 1, and Lie Direct on the 7-day backup, just replicating his run of 2 starts back, which is good enough to be in the finish of this. You've mentioned Major, which on the backup finds a race to suit again. Race 3 is, we've gone all the way from 2,400 back to 1,000. It's the short course race of the day, and Kangarilla Joy, resuming here, is the favourite at $3.60. Last Witness is $5. He's a winner at two weeks back at Canterbury. Hot Hit at $5.50, 3 sheets. Fresh from his, Dr. Jerd's run?
What a funny...
Cessnock Cup run.
What a funny race to put him in, that 1,000 to 1,350, now back to the 1,000. I think it fits in hard tomorrow.
So it's real old school, isn't it?
Oh, it's real old school.
Yeah. So 3 sheets is $6. And then out to double figures. Warjet resuming $12. Invitations on the back up $12. Open Books resuming $17. Highly Geared $21. Don't Tease Me $41. Texan Lad $51.
Particularly important race for me tomorrow for mounting up Mar with Kangarilla Joy resuming. Open Book resuming. 3 sheets coming back in distance. We've got Highly Geared resuming. And a couple of other horses have had like 2 or 3 runs back in. So we've got Last Witness, who's just been parading really well, but not just that, it's been absolutely flying. He's been a revelation, this horse. He's really attacking the line. Any thoughts on him tomorrow?
Well, it's classic Perry, isn't it? You know, you see the horses go all the way out in distance, and throughout their career they just keep sneaking back in distance. And this is his first run at 1,000 metres since maybe his first start.
Look, the horse is 16 starts, 5 wins. He's never, ever gone better. Kangarilla Joy, we really need to... Obviously the best horse in the race, but, you know, got the best horse weight and first up over the 1,000. First up over the 1,000, no problem, but we're looking at a heavy 10. We really don't want to know whether Snowden's got this horse, you know, what's the word? You know, tuned right up to... And most of his horses do come back with a bit of condition. When they have a bit of condition in the wet, they struggle. It's just the weight of the horse. I shouldn't be telling you that much, but anyway, that's all right.
What are we saying about resumers at 1,000? Because obviously that's a perfect distance to be a bit fresh.
It is a perfect distance to be a bit fresh
Now,
on a dry track.
Yes.
On a heavy track, and we're going to have a heavy track.
I should mention that that there are 2 obvious leaders in the race. Don't Tease Me and Highly Geared, who's first up.
Coming off no trial, first up.
Well, you know,
she's, yeah, that's right.
Whatever.
Yep.
Texan Lad won't be too far away. Hot Hit, I had perhaps 4th. Kangarilla Joy just underneath him. It looks,
Big hello to the people that have got Texan Lad. Just quickly, Texan Lad's a 7-year-old now. About 5 years ago, when the horse was a 2-year-old, it had its first race somewhere. Might have been Scone, and one of the owners from Texan Lad, the punter show had just started. He came up and just said, "Oh, hi mate, I got a share in Texan Lad. Do you think I'll be able to win a race with it?" And I said, "Looks a pretty handy little horse." Well, sure enough, it's a 7-year-old gelding now. It's had 51 starts for 11 wins, 15 places, 280,000 in prize money, and I'm sure they've all had a lot of fun. So if that bloke remembers it, big hello to you, mate.
Just looks to be a bit off the boil since Luke Griffiths departed the scene.
Yeah, it does, but like that, I'm sure they're having a lot of fun. I'm sure they're having more fun than they thought 5 years ago. Look, getting back to the race, my pick, I'm going to stick with 3 sheets here. I like the fact it's had the 32 days off, 1,350 back to 1,000. Last time over the 1,000, it held a margin over Hot Hit on these type of conditions. It was a soft 6, but I think the wetter the better. Prior to that, it won a highway over the heavy at Randwick and just pissed in. Finds my man, I'll be screaming for Robert all the way down the straight. Go Robert, you're the best, because I still love Robert. In fact, I love everybody.
So when you
now.
say go Robert, it's like, go Robert.
It's quite, sarcastic. But then if your money's on, you're cheering. You know, as people say to me with football betting, Glenn, what team do you go for? I always tell them I go for me, so whatever team I've backed.
Anyway, today's going to be a very short show in case Glenn has forgotten that.
Yeah, you're quite right. So I'm tipping 3 sheets to beat Last Witness, who are absolutely flying, and want to have a good look at Kangaroo Joy in the Pro, obviously.
Yeah, look, this looks a perfect race for her, wet or dry. I mean, she is a short courser. She's not a 1,200 metre horse. She needs the, she needs the 1,100 or less, and perfectly drawn. Obviously, Mounting Yard Mail will be your key to her, but I'm keen. Moving on to a highway where we've lost Point Percy. He's come out this morning and will be the first of, well, there are 4 scratchings at the moment. I'm sure there'll be probably more like 24 tomorrow, but we'll just have to work with what we've got. And this highway race, the adjusted market sees attainment at $3.80, explosive scene $4, out to Tudor Sunrise at $9.50, Linsang at 13, Destined to Win 13, Snips Parade 13. Attainment's been poking around in these highway races. He comes back up in distance, but looks the leader in this race. Perhaps Magic Zariz can go forward from the wide gate. And I had Destined to Win on speed, who's more of a 1,600 metre horse, but Tommy Berry takes over. And in a race that there aren't a lot of designated go forward horses destined to win just handy to midfield. Any thoughts here? It's like it's a blur, isn't it?
It's very blur, and I've been struggling a bit with the highway races because I'm a bit sick of these highway races at Rose Hill where whoever leads seems to win and just seems to carry very little form in the race.
Just a mark of what they are. You know, they're all one-pace nuffies.
So if they are one-pace nuffies, I'm going to look for a horse here in this race that does charge a little bit through the line on the backup. It's $26 at the moment. Number 13, Snappy One, ridden by little Deanie Panya. I think Deanie will love the 1400. And I thought it finds a nice little position. This horse is absolutely flying. And I thought the other day what it did at Cessnock was particularly good.
He's been rehearsing, by the way.
What do you mean? I never rehearse anything. I rehearse, get myself into trouble a lot, but that's all right. I liked it a lot down the bottom, and I thought it was huge odds. And as far as everything else, I was having a look at a few of them. You know, they're great, these races. I thought High Tech wasn't hopeless at big odds. Look, I thought it was a race up for grabs. You know, you can tip me anything here, but I'm happy to be on Snappy One each way at this stage.
Because Glenn is a snappy one. I'd suggest that Explosive Scene, who drew Gate 1 last week, that was not a good draw for him. He's drawn much better on the back up, and he's my best guess in a race that I'm not itching to bet in. Right, one of the features on the day is the Missile Stakes. Somehow it's a Group 2 race these days. Somehow it's 1200. And
somehow it's the Mark Moran Missile Stakes. Who's Mark Moran?
Mark Moran, I have no idea. It's not Matt Moran, it's Mark Moran.
It's Mark Moran. Is he one of the...
Well, we'll get back to you on Monday with the rant.
Oh, who's Mark Moran?
And
Mark Moran Missile Stakes, that seems odd, doesn't it?
Bring back Pluvite, I say. This was Missile Stakes, Rose Hill, 1984, was it?
Something like that.
Flag start.
There we were. We were there.
Yeah, we were there. And 32 years later, we're here.
Now we're here.
We're here to see Capitalist.
What price? How's this price? How's this $1.44? Yeah, what's going on?
This looks an even money chance to me.
My
but
word.
Anyway, $1.55 Capitalist,
Right.
$4.60 Rebel Dane, and $11 General Leafe Big Money, 34 Mount Nebo Tycoon Tara, and 41 Wouldn't It Be Nice? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if those three roughies halved their prices.
Wow. Well, you know, I've gone through the race. I've got Rebel Dane first up, General Leafe first up, and we've got the favourite first up. So Tycoon Tara coming up a stable change first up. Obviously, it's a race I really want to have a good look at the Manimo. First impressions, we've got a little small 2-year-old who's the best 2-year-old of the season and a terrific little horse. And it just seems a funny race to start in to me. Big Money.
You were expecting him to start on a shorter race?
Not shorter, but just own age. I don't know, like thrown
Maybe
into the deep end. I mean, I don't mind 2-year-olds this time of year if they've got a bit of ability, but these aren't.
I know, he had the PR of PR in the Golden Slipper, didn't he?
PR. The only time he ever got into a tiny little tricky spot, he got beat, and he got held easily by Kiss and Makeup or whatever it's called.
I guess the wisdom is that he just controls this race because there's nothing wants to go forward. I mean, Mount Nebo was an on-pace runner in a past life, but he's been ridden well off the speed lately.
So maybe if he gets control over 1,000, it's he is a $1.50 chance. But look, I think there's plenty of work.
Oh, he's just sitting there to be wheel spinning halfway down the straight.
My word is, and we don't know where he is, and that's even if he runs. And I'll be surprised if he did run in a heavy intent. At this stage, I'm going to tip Big Money up and running, finds a nice little spot. I'll be cheering Robert again all the way down the street to beat Rebel Dane, and General Leafe's an old favourite of mine. And I'll look at Capitalist, but if it's $1.55 and it runs in this race, I can't expect if it'll be winnings that I'll be winning, but I don't want to pot it as a horse. I'm not potting it as a horse, but I just think it's a funny place to start off. That's a fair comment, isn't it?
Look, it's a delicious prospect tomorrow. The fact that Capitalist looks set. I mean, we haven't heard that he's not set to go around, but I mean, the fact that he could go around in these circumstances and have favours, but also have so much against him, it's one of those things that drives racing. It's like polarised opinion.
It is a polarised opinion, and 1,200 metres on a heavy 10 first up for a very young horse. Let's assume this horse is 3, because it is 3, but it's still probably a 2-year-old. Okay, it's the best 2-year-old from last season, but does that mean much to it? And
is it the best 2-year-old? What about Yankee Rose? Surely, like Yankee Rose resumed in the Golden Slipper to nearly nail him.
Okay. And it wasn't PR in that race? Yeah, possibly. I suspect Capitalist is a better 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I think Yankee Rose is a little hot. Are we having a break halfway for the 5-5 race?
Yeah, we're going to have a break after this race.
Exciting.
I'd suggest that Capitalist looks an even money chance, and you can work in and around that. That's my thought for the race. We'll take a break and be back with the back half, the quaddie legs of the Randwick program tomorrow.
On the preview. Right. You're going fantastic.